What's up, college basketball fans? Welcome back to another episode of Bourbon Beer and Basketball. I'm your host, Sam Gillette of Sam Talk Sports, and we got a great show for you today. We're going to run through the Power Four conference tournaments, and then we're going to kick off with our drafted conferences. If you haven't been around, we'll let you know what that is in the second half. Right now, if you're on TikTok, give us a like, and then hop over to Bronco Nation Updates on YouTube. Subscribe over there, join the show, and leave your comments and give us your hot takes. But without any further ado, let's get right in this. At 5'7" from Boise, Idaho, my friend and co-host of Bronco Nation Live, Mr. Nick Wade.
What's up? You got your dancing shoes on? Let's go Broncos.
At 5'8" from Plano, Texas, official USA Basketball Youth Development License Coach and Plano West basketball coach, Mr. Jonathan Yates.
Party people, what's going on? Time to get this thing rolling.
And our resident big man at 6'2" from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, founder of the Sunbelt Syndicate, Mr. Dominic Crusetto.
What's up, gentlemen? Happy to be here tonight.
And at 5'10" from Twin Falls, Idaho, connoisseur of all things basketball and statistician superstar, Josh Fife.
Ultimate run of history. It's coming.
Kind of like Air Force until they lost. And at 5'9" from Columbia, Pennsylvania, gamer extraordinaire and founder of River Shark Gaming, Mr. Casey Wick. You're muted, Casey.
You're muted, yeah.
Well, we have Sam's issues because apparently I didn't click that one that time.
Hey, do not speak that down on us. Again, if you're joining us from TikTok, give us your hot takes. Let us know what you're drinking tonight. Bourbon, beer, anything you want to tell us. We'll be happy to read them out loud. If you want your comments to appear on the screen, hop on over to YouTube, search at Bronco Nation Updates, post your comments there, and we'll put them up on the screen. All right, fellas, we got a big night tonight, but first, let's get to our shout outs. Nick, what do you got on the table tonight?
Yeah. A couple weeks ago, does anybody remember the carbonated soda drink called Slice? You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, a couple weeks ago, they came into the office at work, and they actually the name has been repurchased, and they've been rebranded, and they've got an assortment of flavors. Got orange and
I remember the orange ones.
And then lemon lime. But anyway, and they got a cola now too. But anyway, these are a competitor of the beverage called Poppy. So these are these have been rebranded. They're a biotic and probiotic. The lemon lime right here says it has 4 grams of sugar, and it's branded healthy soda. I haven't drank carbonated soft drink for several years because I'm a runner. But I figured, you know what? They came into Albertsons and they rebranded, and we're the exclusive distributor for them. So I thought I'd give it a shot. So I'm gonna do the lemon lime, and hopefully it doesn't do too much damage for my running, but I don't think it will because I don't drink that much carbonation. So here we go.
Is that nationwide or is that just regional?
No, this is nationwide. You can pick this. So in your guys' area in Texas, you guys can pick this up at your local United supermarkets, your Market Streets in Texas. And then in Casey's area, you can pick it up at Acme and Kings and Balducci's and Safeways in the Maryland area. And then in the Midwest, you can get it at Jewel Osco. And then over here in the on the West Coast, you can get it at Albertsons, Safeway, Bonds, Pavilions in California, and that's about it. So lots of banners, and that's where you can get it. New Slice.
Get some from Albertsons, man. You can go to the Tom Thumb. They're the same company. So
Yep, Tom Thumb. Randall's down there.
We have an Albertsons in Longview. That's why I asked. I'd pop over there and give them a try.
That's
Oh.
lemony, lemon lime. So that tastes pretty good.
Nice.
Nice.
And for those of you watching that don't know, wondering why this crazy guy on screen is on a bourbon beer and basketball show and showing off pre and probiotics, Nick is our designated driver, so he does not drink alcohol. The city of Boise thanks him for that, and so he does our non-alcoholic stuff.
Nick the
All right,
Tank.
Mr. Yates, what Texas treasures do you have for us today?
Well, first off, I just want to say this. When Nick started going into the "Do you guys remember this soda?" I thought Surge was making a comeback.
Ooh, yeah.
Third.
I got excited, right? But it didn't, and now I'm sad.
I think you
But
can still buy it on
back,
Amazon.
I'm going back with one that we had several weeks ago out at Three Nations Brewing. We got this Royal Blood,
It's a good
and
one.
that's a beaut right there. It's a little blood orange ale, and nice and crispy and orangey. Tastes like a blue moon, but better.
Agreed. I think
That's
I still got 1 or 2 cans of those left in my refrigerator too.
Nice.
I've been saving them for a rainy day, as well as that barrel aged one. I might actually pop that one open here pretty soon. So, I might do that for our Final Four show or the championship show. We'll figure it out. All right, Casey, what do you
Well,
got on the table?
I do not have the can with me. I'll have to get it later. But I am actually drinking. Jack Daniels has a multi-pack of Jack and Coke, Jack and Cherry Coke, and Jack and Vanilla Coke. And currently, I have a Jack and Cherry Coke.
Oh, so pitch beer.
Yeah, I put 2 in my Yeti here. So
Doubled it
All
up.
right.
Nice.
yeah, it's easier that way.
It doesn't double the alcohol though.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be like you last week.
Hey, that was fun, and you know it. No 10 points for me tonight. All right, Josh, what do you got on the table?
I am going to finish off my Carroll College inspired Halo Huckleberry Half based out of Montana. And I thought about going a different direction. And then I saw Montana, Idaho in the Big Sky Championship. So shout out Montana, having a great year. That is a weird championship game.
Yeah, there have been quite a few of those.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. Mr. Dominic, what you got today?
All right. Well, I'm going back to work on my Cook's Mill from good old Catawba Valley, North Carolina, the foothills of North Carolina, as they call it. So we've got some of that, and the big 4-0s this weekend. But I got a surprise party that happened last weekend, and some of my friends were in Memphis and went to a distillery called Old Dominic. So it was fitting. So I've got that, and I still got a beer to go after, but I got a koozie from there as well. So I'm wrapping the beer in this, but this is called Jimmy's Bike Drive Coastal Lager. So
That's a sweet can.
pretty cool can there. Very colorful. Yeah, very colorful. It's got sea salt and lime in it. So it's a whole pint worth. Got some sharks on there and stuff. We'll test that out here once we get through the bourbon.
Nice. That looks refreshing.
It does.
Well, in honor of what's going on in the Middle East, a beer for people who like beer. Southern Star Brewing Company out of
Tehran?
Conroe, Texas. This is a bombshell blonde. There we go.
Well, I like that can.
Bombshell.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So this one isn't as fun as the 10 point. It is a 5.4. I figure I'll start light after a heavy dinner.
Do part of the proceeds go to the 72 Virgins Fund?
Yates, you got that disclaimer.
Yates, are you ready on this?
Yeah, here, basketball. Our views are just those, right? We're just fans with microphones. Drink responsibly, and don't blame us when your bracket burst.
That's
Or your front door from the FBI.
right.
That too.
That almost has a lemony citrus, more lemon than citrus. I know lemon citrus, but that's weird. Not what I was expecting at all, but good. It has a very lemony flavor. So there's that. We're gonna start with that. I got something that's a little bit stronger for after.
Ooh, you're going beer first and then going to the bourbon?
Oh heck yeah!
Good luck.
But it's not bourbon, dude. I
Oh.
can drink.
Isn't it
It's the
beer
college
before
days.
liquor never been sicker? Is that the phrase?
Wasted
Eh,
Wednesdays.
That's what they
That's-
say, but I just feel like it's a lie.
Oh, I
right?
guarantee you it's not.
You only get sick if
Wow.
you let it. All right. I do want to give a shout out to apologies, TikTok. You're going to pause for a second because I got to look this name up again because I forgot it. Give a shout out to Mizuki, all you can eat sushi and hibachi. We went there tonight, and oh my God, if you are in Baytown, Texas, run, do not walk, run to Mizuki, all you can eat sushi and hibachi. Great food, amazing. They're the reason I'm drinking light right now because, yeah, let's just say my belt, I had to put some more notches in. I did not want to stop. And that was an unpaid shout out because our waitress was awesome and the food was awesome. So they deserve it. But we're about to get into some conference, the Big Four, Power Four conference championships. Get ready. I'm going to put this out on all kinds of social medias and stuff and hand it out to the panel to pass out as well. We got our Bourbon Beer and Basketball Challenge that's going to be coming up. We're using ESPN. If you want to go ahead and go and sign up and get your stuff going, Bourbon Beer and Basketball Challenge, no commas, the ampersand instead of and the password is BBB 2016 exclamation point. I meant to do 2026, but I didn't catch it until afterwards, so I just ran with it. So that's what you get when you have fat fingers and a phone. So if you want to go ahead and go sign up for that now, you can. Otherwise, wait for us to push it out on social media. But we're going to talk about some brackets and conference tournament brackets. And let's get this rolling with the Kansas City Gauntlet over in the Big 12, arguably the deepest league this year. Nick, is Arizona a lock for the number 1 seed?
They are if they win a few games in that tournament. But let's start. Is this the best league in the country, the Big 12?
If it's not the Big 12, then it's got to be the Big 10. I mean, they're just as deep in both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But in Kansas City, this thing it's going to be a gauntlet every single night. I believe UCF started out by basically killing the Cincinnati Bearcats' hopes of getting into the postseason. So already started out the bang. You got the top 6 or 7, 6 of the 7 are all riding multiple game win streaks going into this thing. So, this is going to be this conference tournament is going to be awesome. So all year I've been pretty biased with Houston, and why I say if Arizona goes up and wins a few games, if not takes it, if they take it, they're locked for number 1. But I still have hope in Houston, who's also another great team who the committee does like. Every year they've got a shot at a number 1 seed. I also think that Houston has a shot at locking down a number 1 seed if Arizona falls and Houston goes and takes this tournament. I believe that they may jump over Arizona and grab that number 1 seed in the South or the Midwest. Is it the South?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And BYU lit it up against Kansas State. Kansas State, obviously a shell of what they used to be. Put up 105 points on them last night, and right now are currently, yes, it looks like with 1:24 left, they are going to burst West Virginia's bubble, up 66-48. So BYU rolling there. Arizona State upset Baylor last night, only to turn around and get blown out by Iowa State tonight. Their season is done. Any surprises there, Nick, with BYU and Arizona State over Baylor? and then not being able to do anything against Iowa State?
Not with Baylor and Arizona State, and I don't know if you guys saw this, but unfortunately, Coach Hurley is not going to be extended, so he'll probably wind up in the Big East, my other conference. But BYU is starting to surge. They really want to get into the tournament, and they're going to be their best shot at doing it in this conference tournament. And it seems like every game in this Kansas City tournament, it basically is an elimination game for some of these teams that are fighting to get in there on the bubble.
Yep. We'll try that again. With West Virginia and Cincinnati.
You don't have a 10-pointer?
No, it's 5.4.
That was the sake from the hibachi.
with West Virginia and Cincinnati already losing today, that pretty much leaves UCF on the bubble. Did their win over Cincinnati, did that pretty much secure them as a first four in, or do they still need to win a few more to kind of get that security of being a lock for the tournament?
Well, if I were them, and just a reminder for the people that are watching on Facebook, if you want to be a part of the show and get your comment aired, go to our YouTube channel because we have visibility there. But just to answer your question, if I were UCF, I would be treating this like Boise State would, right? It's never a lock for these, these legacy G5 teams. If I were them, I want to win. I would want to keep winning because it's not going to be a lock. But I will say that they finished the season on a roll, so they've got that going for them. So you never know, but you never want to put this in the hands of the committee to decide your fate in these kinds of things. So I would stress on them to win the next game.
And that's a tall task considering their next game is against Arizona. So, fun time.
Can I throw in one bit of Big 12 news, Sam?
Go for it.
I saw the Wichita Eagle reported this morning that Kansas State is nearing terms with their next head coach, and it sounds like it may be Jared Calhoun out of Utah State. So that's what they said. The front runner is Calhoun.
That's what we need in the Mountain West is coaching instability so that or instability.
There you go.
So that Utah State falters. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. You're big.
I think something else we need to add is that my screen is frozen. But for BYU is AJ DeBanza and the things he's been doing so far.
Yeah.
40 points against Kansas State to go along with 9 rebounds and 6 assists. And tonight, right now, he's got, and just went final, 27. That's a pretty good start to the Big 12 tournament for the freshman.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I thought it was my side.
If he's still in BYU next year,
Probably
then some of them bigger schools are missing it. All right. Big 12 locks: Arizona, Houston, Iowa State, Texas Tech, Kansas, BYU, and TCU. On the bubble, 2 bubbles have already burst with West Virginia and Cincinnati, and Central Florida's may get a lot thinner if they don't put up a good showing against Arizona. Moving on to the Blue Buds and Charlotte over at the ACC. Duke's in position to take the #1 overall seed. Josh, are they the NCAA championship favorites at this point?
I would think so at this point. Definitely the ACC front runners, no doubt. They're #1 in KenPom, #1 in net, #1 in several other metrics as well. I think it runs through Duke. Did a little research on the ACC last year with a down year, only getting 4 in. Their 4th team in last year was North Carolina. They sat 31 in KenPom. If you took those same analytics and metrics this year, they would get 8 in. So it's a much better year for the ACC, but Duke is definitely, I think if they at least get to the ACC championship, they'll take the #1 overall seed. They'll get Florida State or Cal in their next game, and then maybe UNC or Clemson. Honestly, I think if you're Duke, you're probably hoping for UNC at this point because they are depleted and down, and I don't think it's going to go well for my Tar Heels over the next few weeks. But anything can happen in a big rivalry game. I think we know like that. So Duke is it. I think they're probably the team to beat.
Did,
Not that they can't, but
did I read right somewhere that a guard or something for North Carolina had a season-ending injury?
their superstar gone for the season with the thumb surgery, which he was kind of their guy against Duke that ended up held him in the game, and then he's kind of been, I don't know. He's been their hope, I feel like, at least for the next couple years if they could have kept him, but it's a rough go. He did not play against Duke a week and a half ago, and we saw how that ended. So
Yeah. Pitt upset Stanford at the buzzer, effectively ending Stanford's bubble hopes. Of course, then tonight they turn around, lost to NC State 98-88. Stanford out, or do they still have a slim chance?
I think they're gone. Their coach was vouching hard in the media, but you can't. I'm sorry. Nope.
Yeah, your
not
high
this year.
prices and your GPAs aren't getting you in this tournament.
Stanford was sitting 62 in both Ken Palm and net coming into today, so that will tank them. There's no way, and if they do, something's wrong.
Yeah. Another team sitting on the bubble was Virginia Tech before they lost to Wake Forest in overtime, 95-89. It's kind of the same fate for Virginia Tech there. They gone, or do they got that little sliver of hope?
They were 58-57 in the metrics, so I think they're out as well. Wake Forest, they were 72-63, so they got to go on a massive run as well. But unless they win it, I don't know if they get in.
And then the final bubble team we're going to go kind of in depth on, SMU, big win over Syracuse. Tough loss today to number 24 Louisville, 62-58. Is SMU in?
They are the interesting one. Last year they were sitting at number 50 in the net, and we all know they got left out. This year coming into today, they were 37 net. So they may hang on by the skin of their teeth, but I think that also depends on some of these other conferences. Do they get 2 in? I think there's some teams that are rooting hard for Utah State this year because they are praying the Mountain West and Santa Clara doesn't get in. So
Santa Clara with their close loss to Gonzaga in the championship. It's hard to leave them out.
They played tough for sure.
Yeah. All right. ACC locks, Duke, Virginia, Louisville, North Carolina, and Clemson on the bubble. SMU, they're probably the closest team to make it in, right next to NC State, who beat Pitt today. And then Cal, Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, and Stanford. Cal looks like they're going to be out, currently down 86-94 with 17 seconds to play against Florida State. So you can probably cross Cal off of that list. Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, Stanford, probably out. Wake Forest still has a chance if they beat Clemson tonight.
And did you say Miami? I think Miami's in too.
Yes, I did. Sorry.
Okay. Nope, you're good.
All right. I didn't say them, but I meant to. They were the last on the list. All right, going on to the Nashville Chaos over in the SEC land. Yates, is Florida the hottest team in the nation right now?
Yes. They are absolutely the hottest team in the nation. They've been beating the brakes off of everybody for 11 straight games, including the close ones. They did something enough. Anyway, that SEC tournament did get started up tonight. Some pretty good stuff going on there. Let's see. Let me pull up the score for you. So far, Ole Miss did take down Texas. That one has gone final. So Texas, get out of here, which also most likely has burst that bubble. I don't know with that loss that early in the SEC tournament if you can justify getting them in the dance right now just because there's so many other deserving teams. LSU played tough against Kentucky. They're just really bad at basketball right now. So Kentucky won, and Auburn advances right now. Are getting ready to kick off. We got South Carolina and OU. The big story here, all right, that Florida, obviously, with their road, but Alabama and Arkansas are the next that are like in line to potentially win it. Like if somebody is going to win that SEC tournament that's not named Florida, it's going to be one of those two. I think Arkansas right now probably has the best road to do that, and that is trying to be as unbiased as I can with that. But if with Georgia playing well, if they play well when they've been up, they've been really good. And if I think they'll take care of Ole Miss, and if they have one of those good games against Alabama, I think Alabama can be in trouble. Whereas on the other side with Arkansas, you're getting either an Oklahoma, South Carolina, or a Texas A&M. Oklahoma and South Carolina would be games that you'd win. Texas A&M is going to be one that would be really close throughout. But I think one of those teams is going to have a better chance at the championship game than any of the other teams. So I'm not going to put any more curses on teams. Roll Tide. All right.
Let's do it.
All right.
Does Florida have to win the SEC to get a number 1 seed, or can they get there with a deep run?
I don't think they're going to have to win it, but I do think they have to win at least a game, just because there's work to do when you look at the other teams that are looking at number 1 seeds right now. Obviously, what you talked about earlier with Arizona, if Arizona loses early enough in that Big 12 and Florida goes and makes that deep run, I think you're looking at Florida as a number 1 at some point there. But looking at Florida, Bama, Vandy, Arkansas, Tennessee, Georgia, and Kentucky are like the locks right now, according to whoever this guy is. Joe Lenardi? Is that who is that?
I don't know. Never heard of it.
And then you got a couple of others that should be in, with A&M and Missouri, and then he's got Texas with work to do, and that's why I said at this point, you losing that game that early
to a team with a losing record.
Yeah, I don't see you pushing forward into that tournament because they were just one of the play-in games, one of the buys, I can't talk right now. One of those, the first 4 teams that has the play-in game, but I think that kicked them out of it.
2 SEC people on the committee. Yates, does Texas get a play-in game?
I mean, they were already one of the play-in games, weren't they? No.
Lenardi had him one of his last 4 buys, I think.
Yeah, one of the last 4 buys. Yeah. So I don't see it. But I have a hard time also, using bias for those kind of things. So like if we're talking about SEC bias, they're probably going to snag one of those 11 seeds.
Yeah.
I don't think they deserve it.
You mentioned Vanderbilt ended the regular season with 2 wins to earn the double bye. They've had a really streaky season. They've either been really good or really bad. Really hasn't been any in between. How high of a seed can they realistically achieve in the dance?
I don't see them being any higher than a 5. But I really think they're going to be something maybe a 6, but I could definitely see them at a 7. Especially if they don't win a game in this SEC tournament. If they lose straight away, you can almost nail them in as a 7 seed. I think you win one, I think you're a 6. But I don't. You'd have to win it to go any higher, and I think 5's as high as you get.
All right. I got SEC locks: Florida, Vanderbilt, Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Georgia. Uh, right there on the bubble, Texas A&M, Texas. Of course, we just talked about them. Their bubble may be burst. Oklahoma, Auburn, and Missouri. All right. Well, there's some big noise going on in Illinois over in the Big Ten. Can Michigan regain the number one overall seed with a conference championship and a Duke loss in the ACC tournament? Casey, what do you say?
I mean, good luck with the Duke loss, but yeah, that's possible. The Big Ten conference is actually looking pretty decent here as they go into the tournament time. I'm actually I'm sitting here looking at the standings and ESPN's bracketology, and Iowa looks like they're probably on the bubble with Indiana losing and pretty much being a guaranteed out now. But Michigan, yeah, I could see them getting this overall seed if Duke would falter just with that late loss, depending on the quality of the loss.
Yeah. And Dominic, Wisconsin took down Purdue last week. Did that lock their bid?
I think so. They're up there at 26, so I think that might be enough to kind of solidify them to be in the field there. Let's see where they were kind of seated at when this came out here. I'm frozen, aren't I?
Lenardi's got him at a 6, Dom.
Yeah, that's where ESPN had them. Yep. Is it Lenardi?
Still got me there?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, my internet's going in and out, I guess, or something. I keep losing everybody and then coming back. But yeah, I mean, I don't think they'd fall any further than 7 if some stuff were to move around a little bit.
Yeah. I think even with when do they play? Thursday, I believe. Is that? Come here, mouse. There you are. Thursday they play. Yeah, they play Washington Thursday, who just ended USC's season most likely. But yeah, yeah. So Washington and Wisconsin, that should be the game of the W should be a good one. UCLA, they finished 13-7 in the Big Ten this year. Do you guys think they're between the both of you? Are they a dark horse contender? They a team that can jump up and slap a few people?
I mean, they played USC pretty competitively, but yeah, I mean, could they? Yeah, will they? I mean, flip a coin. It's because like Iowa actually played pretty good earlier today, so I think it's going to come down to Iowa, Ohio State, and UCLA as far as which one of those 3 teams kind of goes further in the tournament. But if UCLA can probably make it till another game or 2, there's a possibility they can sneak on in there. I'm trying to think, does bracketology even have them in?
I don't think they're in long shot territory.
Well, they have them as an 8 right now. Yeah.
Really?
And
UCLA.
Yeah, Lenardi has them as an 8 in the San Diego region.
That is interesting. I have them on my bubble. All right. Well, we got Big Ten locks: Michigan, Purdue, Nebraska, Michigan State, Illinois, and Wisconsin. On the bubble, Indiana, which their bubble likely burst tonight. Iowa looks like they're going to be the bubble favorite. Ohio State and UCLA are right there vying for it as well. And with Northwestern making a little surge here, if they make a run at this and pull Air Force women's basketball in the men tournament, then that could spell disaster for anybody else not hoping for bid thieves. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break here. When we come back, we're going to get into our drafted conference overviews. If you don't know what that is, stick around and I will explain it when we get back. Maybe. Where is it? There it is.
Dude.
welcome back to Bourbon, Beer, and Basketball.
Hey guys, I'll say it. That
leader,
lead in with the conferences on the thing, that's so cool.
I know, right?
isn't it? That is so
It's about
awesome.
time somebody noticed my handiwork. Thanks for getting us back, Nick, because my camera decided it was going to look at the wall on the other side. Oh, yeah.
Isn't
So I said that-
technology neat?
I know.
Awesome.
Like, I was sitting down and I looked up. I'm like, where am I? All right. And something else.
That's
I
at
just
10%.
noticed, too. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to get into real quick though. Again, if you're just now tuning in, you want to be part of the Bourbon Beer and Basketball Challenge for the ESPN brackets. We are going to be using ESPN for this. You can look up Bourbon Beer and Basketball Challenge on ESPN. It's Bourbon Beer, the ampersand, basketball, no commas, and challenge. Password is BBB 2016 exclamation point. So yeah,
we can put that in the description too in YouTube.
Yes, we will have it all over Bronco Nation updates. Every panel member will have it on their stuff as well. I'll have it all over Sam Talk Sports on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok.
Quick disclaimer, if you start doing better than me, you do get kicked out of the group.
All right. There we go. So I said that I was drinking something a little bit heavier. I had to wait for the break so I could go get a cup. I am in a hotel, so this. Oh, you know what? Let's Nick, why don't you shout out your stuff real quick? I got to fix something.
All right. Well, I finished off that lemon lime slice, and I'm going to go to my favorite flavor when it comes to like sports drinks and soda pops, and that's grape. But anyway, I could feel that was a probiotic. I take probiotics every day, and it's really good for your gut health. But the can says, "Hey now, Slice is back on the block, same big flavor, new big benefits, 5 grams of sugar for this one, and total comeback energy." And then it says, "The Slice Gut Game. Our signature gut health blend has a winning combination with prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics." So I'm covered in all 3 phases. I didn't even know there's 3 phases, but hey, I'll take it. Anyway, I'm gonna do my own cracks. Pretty good. Now,
All right.
now we'll test the taste. Gotta love grape drink, man. That's good.
Facts.
Facts.
Such an underrated drink.
So apparently my green screen thinks that my shirt is green.
You know what? It kind of looks like a light green. Not gonna lie to you.
It's blue. It's blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
Whoa.
Just put it right in front of your face.
So
Right
I
in
had,
your face, right
I had to
there.
go get a cup. Got the cup. The wife and I, we've been wanting to try these. She's a big Stella Rosa fan. In my face. There we go.
Oh,
This is a Stella Rosa honey peach brandy. Not a bourbon.
oh,
So,
oh.
did you hear that?
Well, St. Patty's Day is right around the corner, so
Yeah.
there you go.
Nice. Pop, I see your comments. I'm not reading it. And unless Yates does his disclaimer.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Bourbon Beer and Basketball, we know that Pop is going to pop off at some random point. But anyway, his views are his and his alone, even when Sam reads them.
Yes, he said it's a nice gay color. Talking about my shirt.
Yeah, we can't say that.
Happy. Gay means happy.
It does. It does.
It's a nice happy color.
True.
Now, are we talking about Goodwood?
Man.
Ladies and
Pretty much. Just to do that a lot. Just keep that on repeat.
So, honey peach, brandy. Has a little kick to it. Tastes good. You really taste the honey in the background flavor. That would go really good if you're mixing it in with peach rings. That's what that tastes like, an alcoholic peach ring.
Hey Sam, I think Pop's gonna keep sending the comments with the honey and the pastel clothing and the peach rings. I'd quit while you're ahead.
Thanks, Pop.
Who wants to go first?
Was he really ahead, though? Was he really ahead?
I mean, you probably think so.
Well, we went with Yates first last week, and in the spirit of him always getting picked to go last, let's start with Nick this week. Nick had the number. Oh, real quick, what we did was we took all the mid majors and the high majors, and basically everybody that's not a P4 conference. We threw them in a pool, and then we had Chat GPT. This is the night that nobody could talk. We had Chat GPT come in and randomly pick our draft order, and then all 6 of us picked the rest of the conferences. And there's a point system based on who wins the regular season, who wins their conference championship, and who makes it the furthest into the conference. Winner gets a plaque, loser gets a plaque, and it's going to be fun. We'll have a great big reward ceremony. We'll have Michael Jordan said he's going to be there, or not. You know, I can dream big. One day, fellas, one day we're going to be that big. Michael Jordan's going to be begging to be on the show.
I believe it.
Anyway, without any further ado, Nick had the number 1 overall pick. Nick, who'd you take? Why'd you take him? And what are they doing this week?
Well, I was blessed with the number 1 pick. I was hoping and praying to get it because I really wanted the Big East. I just had out of all the mid majors and, the higher majors like Big East, I thought that, I would probably have a better shot at scoring some points. I like the Big East. I like the competitiveness of that conference. So it's been kind of a thrill for me just to cover them the last, 2 months, I think. But yeah, that's why I chose them. I think that if anybody else would have had the first pick, they probably would have picked the Big East too, or who else was there?
West Coast.
Yeah, the big league
West
ain't
Coast.
going to do nothing.
Well, I mean, everybody's got opinions, just like assholes. So, I mean, but anyway, I'm just sticking up for the Big East. So just to kind of recap what happened last week and where they're sitting right now, you saw St. John's win 72 over a heated up Seton Hall, 72-65, which clinched the regular season conference title for the Red Storm. You had UConn laying down and taking a crap against Marquette, 68-62. You had some drama in there where Hurley was ejected, and the Huskies finished second in the Big East.
It's wild.
So now they're heading into the tournament at Madison Square Garden, home of put up lots of points in the house. You got number 1 seeded St. John's, 2 UConn, 3 Villanova, which all 3 I think have a lock in the tournament. Villanova, hopefully they win because right now I'm looking at a 3-bid Big East conference. Then you have Seton Hall and then the rest of them after that. So projections are, I think that if no matter what UConn does, I think they squandered that number 1 seed that they're usually accustomed to getting in the tournament when they get in. I think that recency bias is kind of out the window with them losing for the second straight year to the Red Storm in the regular season champion. I do think that in order for them to hold on to a number 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, they're going to have to at least get to the championship game in the Big East tournament. If they win it, they're a lock for it. St. John's, I think it's between them and St. John's in this tournament. I do think that if St. John's wins the tournament, they're still not in contention for a number 1 seed. So I think that's going to go. I think that's why Florida is going to be a number 1 seed in the SEC for sure. I think that's a lock for them. And then you can go over to the Big 12 is going to have a number 1 seed, and then Duke will probably end up with the number 1 seed, and then after that, then it's going to come down to Michigan, and then the rest of those 3 conferences that somebody's going to get another number 1. But even if UConn wins, I don't think they're going to lock down a number 1 seed with the way that things have gone for them lately. So, but I have if all things considered, if Villanova wins a couple games and UConn and St. John's, I think I agree with Lenardi here that UConn would finish with the 2 seed. St. John's would probably finish with the 5 seed if they don't win the champion in the tournament championship. If they do, they could probably boost that seed up. And then Villanova, depending on how they do, if they do go to the conference championship, I think they could move up from a 7 seed going into the NCAA tournament.
Nick, I'm going to give you some hope here. I did some nerdy homework the other night because a buddy asked me, how close is Ken Pom in the net? And so I went back 25 years. 3 times the championship winner has finished outside of the top 3 in Ken Pom. 2 of them were UConn. And the last time they finished number 10, which is where they're sitting now, they ended up winning the championship. It just blew my mind that the other 2 was UConn and Syracuse in 2003. And I think that was the Carmelo Anthony year. Was that 03? So that Big East, to me, like they have this little bit of history that wherever they finish, doesn't matter. They can get in there.
Yeah. And that's, I agree with that. I think, I still think that if UConn finishes strong in their conference tournament, some teams just go to the tournament and they do very well. And UConn's one of those teams.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, Josh, what's going on? You're number 2 overall pick. What's going on in the Mountain West Conference?
Well, the Mountain West is interesting right now. Not homerism, truly, although maybe a little bit. Boise State is the hottest team going in right now. I think that would have been Colorado State, but they took them out the other night in, I don't want to say convincing fashion, but it was fairly convincing, if you will. But Boise State and Colorado State, kind of the 2 hottest teams in the Mountain West. Interesting look at the last couple weeks in this conference. Seeds numbers 1 through 5, none of them are over 500 in their last 9 games. And seeds 6 through 9 are all well above 500 in their last several weeks. So who the freak knows what's going to happen in the Mountain West Conference tournament? I don't know. Utah State, it's hard to pick against them. Calhoun, Falslev, I don't think is going to stay on a lull. He'll get going. But that's kind of where the chips lie right now. UNLV did beat Wyoming today by 3 in a nail biter. That was really close. And UNLV this year, they beat Utah State twice for the first time since 2014. So that's interesting to say. UNLV is one of these teams that's just crazy athletic. If they could just get in sync all the time, I would imagine they'd run this tournament, but who knows which UNLV team is going to show up. I still think Utah State's probably the favorite to go, but according to the odds today, the top 5 are all kind of in that mix. Boise State did slide into the 5th most likely to win the conference tournament, even as a 6th seed. So unpredictable to say the least, but I think us Broncos are hoping for a miracle run here.
Hey,
And
Josh,
UNLV plays Utah State too tomorrow.
Josh, could the stars align any more perfect for the Broncos in the seeding?
It truly, I think maybe it was Jay Tuss that mentioned it. We're 8-1 against teams on our side of the bracket and 4-7 against the other side of the bracket. So the 6th seed was the seed to get if it wasn't a number 1 this year. So I truly don't think I'd be shocked if BSU ran it and ended up in the tournament. The SEC, the Big Ten, the ACC would all hate that. So would the West Coast Conference. So the Mountain West is interesting nationwide. There's always a little bit of intrigue, I feel like. I don't know, Dom. Maybe you don't pay any attention to the Mountain West out in the East out there, but I do feel like there's some level of interest this year because of the potential bid steal with New Mexico and San Diego State just praying for a victory. And if Boise State or Colorado State somehow runs it, then there's going to be a lot of nervous watch parties throughout the country this year.
Yep. Interesting to note, Air Force only scored 10 points against Nevada in the first half en route to their
Man.
loss.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's called getting it done right there.
Also want to mention a little birdie that is weirdly connected in the Utah State world. I'm hearing that Falslev is getting some serious ACC looks too. So if Calhoun jets, I would bet Falslev is gone too. That's just my guess, but who knows?
All right. With the number 3 overall pick, I took the West Coast Conference, not the Big Least or the Mountain Valley Conference. But the 3 seed Santa Clara, they stunned the field by taking down 21st ranked St. Mary's 76-71 in the semifinals, and led Gonzaga for the first 23 minutes of the championship. But a massive 50-point second half for the Zags proved too much. The star of the show was tournament MVP Graham Ike, who dominated the paint throughout the week. In the final, he was a perfect 7 of 7 on the floor for 15 points. But the real spark came from the backcourt. Mario St. Superi. He exploded for 21 points, including 6 triples. And Tyon Grant Foster added 20 points of his own. On the other side, Santa Clara's Christian Hammond put the world on notice with 24 points in the final, nearly willing the Broncos to an upset. Despite the loss, Santa Clara's run was arguably the story of the tournament, likely securing them a spot in the big dance for the first time since 1996. So what does this mean for the West Coast Conference in March? For the first time since 2022, this looks like a 3-bid league. Gonzaga's at 30-3 with a top 10 defense and the momentum of a 30-win season. The Zags are projected as the number 3 seed in most brackets. Their experience and depth make them a legitimate Final Four threat as well. St. Mary's at 27-5, despite the semifinal exit. The Gales remain a top 25 team with elite metrics. Expect Randy Bennett's group to land somewhere in the 7 or 8 seed line, making them a nightmare matchup for any of the higher seeds. Santa Clara finished 26-8 by reaching the final and beating St. Mary's in the semifinals. The Broncos have moved off the bubble. Some of the bracketology experts have them as high as a 11 seed, likely headed for a first 4 game or a tough first round upset bid. The West Coast Conference is ending its current era on a high note with 3 potential tournament teams and a battle-tested Gonzaga leading the charge. The conference is poised for a deep run, whether it's Few's final West Coast Conference championship or Herb Sendek's revival of Santa Clara. The West Coast is ready for the madness. All right. Let's roll to Dominic in the A10.
All right. A10, like a couple of my conferences, gets every team into their tournament. So all 14 teams in the conference. Are there any players at the bottom that are going to have a chance to beat our top seeds here, which is St. Louis and VCU? We know St. Louis being a ranked team. VCU was 0-2 versus St. Louis, so Billikens took the tiebreaker to claim the top spot, even they both ended with a 15-3 record in conference. This tournament got started today, actually, as well. St. Bonaventure and Loyola Chicago both move on. The top 4 seeds do get buys until the quarters, which will be Friday. Then there's 4 more games tomorrow. I fully expect the last 2 teams to be standing to be VCU and St. Louis, both to have a good shot at making the tournament. But I would say VCU is currently sitting on that bubble like one of the last teams in, so they can assure themselves, obviously, with the automatic qualifier by winning. It would be interesting to see if that last 4 in is taking into account that they, get to that championship game. Do they have to get to the championship game in order to do that? I would say a lot of that depends on what happens elsewhere. But those are the 2 teams that I think I just don't know if I see anybody coming up and surprising those 2 teams. But I've been very wrong before, as we'll talk about with some of my other conferences. So regular season went well for me. The postseason so far, not so great. But I do still expect St. Louis or VCU to end up on top, and both teams to hopefully, for me, make it into the tournament.
All right. And Casey over in the MAC, not to be confused with the MAC.
All right. All right. Well, we do have their tournament starting tomorrow with number 1 seed Miami taking against number 8 UMass, since they only take 8 teams for their conference tournament. And yeah, as of now, it's pretty much looking like whoever comes out of the MAC's just going to be possibly 2 teams. I think it's just going to be 1 though. But yeah, Miami right now is the odds-on favorite with Akron, and if everything plays out to the seeds, they would end up matching up in the championship, since the way the bracket plays out is they wouldn't possibly even have a chance at playing until then.
With all the close games Miami played this year and the overtime bouts and everything, who has the best chance to take them down? And do you believe all this hubbub that they have to win their conference in order to get into the tournament, and that they're going to keep them out as a 31-0 team, regular season team?
I don't know. I mean, if they lost first round, I think maybe it would be in somewhat in doubt, because even now, like, Lenardi has them. I think he still has them as an 11 seed. I can't say I'd see them falling completely out, but they definitely would not have a favorable. I mean, 11's still pretty. I mean, granted, their strength of schedule is pretty bad. I think Josh touched on it last week. It's among like the very bottom, but I don't know. I can't. You can't go undefeated all year and then kind of get penalized for having 1 bad game. But I mean, they beat UMass twice, which is who they match up with tomorrow, and then they would play the winner of Bowling Green and Toledo. And looking at the scores, Bowling Green didn't really challenge them as much in the second game as it did in the first game, and Toledo was a close game. So yeah, I mean, they could end up losing, and based on those scores they had all year. But one thing I'll say about any sport is once you learn to win, it's a mentality. So I wouldn't count them out.
All right. Yates, your American Athletic Conference.
Kid Rock, huh?
Yeah, let's go on. Let's see what's going on over there.
Anyway, in the American, their tournament kicked off tonight. Memphis has already exited that tournament and the NCAA tournament. They weren't going to get in anyway. They have a losing record. But Tulane took care of them today. And right now we got a early matchup going on there in Temple and Florida Atlantic. Yeah, so the American Conference here. Really tight in the regular season, kind of up and down the board. But ultimately, South Florida was one that like separated themselves towards the end. But Wichita State's on fire right now. And I'm honestly still looking at them for the conference championship here. But I think if that happens, you might get 2 bids with South Florida as long as they don't lose, their first game. But it's probably still just going to be one bid. But Wichita State.
All right. Well, let's pop back up. Actually, you know what? Let's go snake. Let's do it in exact order that we drafted it in.
All right.
Go on to the Missouri Valley.
All right. The Missouri Valley. I don't want to talk about it. It makes me cry a little bit. Because like Belmont, I picked them and I talked all this good. And then they just went, here's an egg, sir. Just laid this. I know it wasn't personal to me, but it really felt personal. So I'm on the F Belmont train right now. But Northern Iowa's honestly had a little bit of a history of success there. Like, they don't win it all the time, but they're going to be a tough out, especially if they can shoot the ball as well as they have at various points in the season. Just right now as a team, they're shooting it at 47%, which is pretty good, right? And if they can catch those games, they catch fire, they're really good. So, it remains to be seen what they're going to be able to do once they get in there, once everything starts. But hey, Old Dominion, or Farley Dickinson, they were able to shock people, lining up there. So, Northern Iowa, they got a little bit of a chance.
Yeah.
I still think Belmont can possibly get in, but with the early exit they had, because it was the first game they played, it's tough to see Belmont getting in right now.
Yeah. Right. Casey over in the Big South, that one wrapped up. But who came out on top and how far are they going to go?
Well, the High Point Panthers took that with a 30-4 record and actually beat Winthrop by a bigger margin than I thought they were going to, with Terry Anderson being the leading scorer. I'll be honest with you. If they played like they played against Winthrop, like they got a chance to surprise some people. But yeah, I was not expecting a 91-76 game with Winthrop, just based on history's fact of how Winthrop has been historically.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be closer too. I saw the score. I'm like, that can't be right. And of course,
Yeah.
a lot of the scores that I've seen today and yesterday of teams getting upset, I thought that can't be right. I picked them. Why'd they lose?
Guilty.
Yep, it's going around because right now,
My fault. We'll talk about another my fault later when I get.
Because even Colorado State's losing after Josh just talked them up in the Mountain West. So yeah. 'Tis the season.
Yates didn't talk about him, so they might have a shot still.
All right, whose season do I need to ruin?
Yates, I'm going to let you go 10 minutes here on New Mexico, if you would, please.
New Mexico's been playing some really good ball recently. I can really see them just running the table. Go, Lobos.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Pretty soon, teams are going to be
Excellent.
contacting us to pay us money not to talk about them.
It's like
Payment, baby.
it's like our own living voodoo doll.
But that means the other team will pay us to talk about the other team, right?
Right.
So, here we go.
Get
Roll
in the
Tide.
bidding war and make some money. All right, Dominic, why don't you tell us about the great UNCW over in the Colonial?
Yeah, my pick to win it all got destroyed. Actually, they didn't get destroyed as bad as Charleston did. The UNCW lost in the quarterfinals to number 9 seeded Campbell Camels. So if you're going to lose to somebody, at least lose to the Camels because they had the coolest name. out there. They lost 85-70. So I guess it was worse. I was thinking it was a 5-point loss. It was a 15-point loss. But Charleston was, another team that I thought was going to be up there at the top as the number 2 seed. They should have been. They lost to number 7 Townsend, 81-56. Wasn't even close. So this is the 2 teams I picked to at least make it to the final in this conference tournament. This conference tournament, by the way, in the Coastal Athletic Association is over and completed. So we have our automatic qualifier. This is a 1-bid league. You've got a Hofstra, number 3 seed overall. So they weren't bad. They were right behind Charleston in that regular season final. They were 12-6 overall behind those top 2 seeds, but they were 24-10 overall. So a decent team here, and they just got hot at the right time. They did have to go to overtime to beat Townsend to make it to that championship game, which they beat Monmouth to win 75-69. Looks like they're seated at a number 13 seed as of right now, the Hofstra team. So interesting. I would have trusted UNCW or Charleston to probably stand a better chance at an upset, but Hofstra, again, they're getting hot at the right time. They're winning some of these close games. They're winning comfortably. So they might just be turning it on at the right time. Possible 13 seed to take a look at. I don't know if I, again, trust them as much as I would have the other 2 because of kind of the recent history with W and Charleston there.
And who did UNCW lose to?
The Campbell Camels.
You think they were distracted by any kind of toes that might have distracted them from winning?
Something like that. So I'm picking up what you're laying down. And with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, the jokes that Sam Gillette makes here on Bourbon Beer and Basketball are his and his alone. These do not reflect the views and opinions of everyone else.
The camels have toes too.
It's more of a hoof.
All right. Well, I took the A-Sun, the 10th overall pick in the second round of our draft. One of the most thrilling finishes, not just in A-Sun history, but all conference tournament history. I texted you guys about this one as it was happening. Great game. For the first time ever, Queens University is going dancing. It is their first year of full Division I eligibility. The Royals stormed through Jacksonville to claim the 2026 A-Sun Championship. The final was an absolute instant classic. Queen faced the top-seeded Central Arkansas Bears in a game that featured 9 lead changes. Despite trailing at the half, the Royals exploded for 52 points in the second stanza to force overtime. In extra frame, Queens held the nerve for 98-93 victory, completing a life-changing run for head coach Grant Leonard's program. The championship game wasn't just a battle for a trophy, it was a battle for the record books. For the Royals, Chris Ashby was unconscious from deep, setting an A-Sun tournament record with 10 three-pointers on his way to 34 points. But that wasn't even the highest scoring player of the game. Central Arkansas's guard Cameron Hunter put on an absolute clinic, couldn't miss, dropping a record-shattering 49 points, the highest single-game total in the tournament's 47-year history. Senior guard Nasir Mann for the Royals was named tournament MVP, leading a Queens roster that had to knock off both the 2 seed in Austin Peay and the 1 seed in the Central Arkansas Bears on back-to-back nights, nonetheless, to punch their tickets. Well-deserved win, a great game. It was. I hated watching it end. It's one of those games that you want to see go to 8-9 overtime. Who cares if the kids are dying on the floor? Let's see them play basketball. It's going to be a great rivalry in the A-Sun moving forward. Now, what can we expect from the Royals in March? A mid-major champion from a league ranked near the bottom of their division, or the bottom third, I should say. They're likely headed for a first 4 matchup in Dayton or a daunting date with a number 1 seed like a Duke or a Michigan. Either way, you can't sleep on them. Queens have proved they can survive high-pressure, high-scoring shootouts, and if Ashby remains hot from three and Man can control the tempo, they have the puncher's chance required to be this year's bracket buster. Whether they win or lose in the first round, the Royals have already made history. It was a great game. I can't say that enough.
How awesome in their first year to make it. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Well, they made a run in the last year too. I remember thinking, "Oh man, they're going to make it," and then I realized they didn't have eligibility to make it. But they're one of the reasons I picked this conference between Queens, Austin P, and Central Arkansas, and Lipscomb. One team had the talent to make it, not just talent but experience. Aside from Queens, the experience to make it too. So it was bound to be a good game. I'm glad that it was. Lived up to the hype. Josh, what do you got in the Southland? It was your number 11 overall pick.
This one's over. That game happened earlier today. McNeese destroyed SFA, Stephen F. Austin, so their tournament hopes are done. McNeese finishes off a strong tournament. They took out number 3 UT Rio Grande Valley in their semifinal match and then finished off Stephen F. Austin. Watched a little bit of the game. It was never really even close. McNeese looked really good. Again, this is one of these conferences. It was always going to be a one-bid league. These teams always come in as a 12 or a 13, and somebody shocks the world, it seems like, every year. I think the stats always say that, is it a 12 has won at least one game 90% of the time or something. So watching them today, I felt like they could be one of those 12 or 13s that gets a W, but we'll see. So the Southland is officially done. That's a automatic bid for McNeese.
All right. Sad day for the Lumberjacks. Cool story. The Kilgore College women's basketball team staying in the hotel right behind mine. I watched them board their bus this morning to go play their tournament game.
All right.
The Summit League, number 12 overall for Nick. How's that one rolling for you?
Yeah, I'm kind of kicking myself for doing that last moment switcheroo with the Tommies. I just had a gut feeling, but that was wrong. Yeah, it happens, you know.
Can you tell me what your next gut feeling is going to be so I can bet on the other guy?
I'm not as bad. I'm not as bad as Drake is in his betting. So yeah, but yeah, kicking myself for that. But in the Summit League, North Dakota State, they became double champs. They took the regular season championship over there in the Summit, and then in the championship they got an 8-point win over North Dakota in the championship, which makes the Bison, they punch their AQ. They are going to be projected about 13 to 14 line in the NCAA tournament. Right now, it's showing a matchup with Iowa State at the Big 12, but anything could happen. But for those of you out there that are filling out your brackets, you know, if the Summit champ does draw a slower Big 10 or SEC team at shooting 36.5 from the arc, if they do draw a slower team, they can't guard the three. You know, you might be able to get an upset in your brackets that way. And then in that same kind of little bracket, I believe it's got Wisconsin up there. So if they can find a way to get a first round win, then they're going up against a Big 10, maybe a slower. And if they continue to shoot hot from the arc, you know, especially since they're double champs, you know, and they've got momentum going, they might be one of those Cinderellas that people are looking for in the brackets.
All right. While you get your whack notes up and going, I'm going to introduce from Lone Pint Brewery out of Magnolia, Texas, brewed and canned in Magnolia, Texas. Now it's okay to drink alone because it's Lone Pint, a lone. Great word play on word. This is called the Jabberwocky. Dom, you're gonna like this one. This artwork on here.
Nice. I do like that. I like the name too.
Yeah. So there you go, TikTok. Take a look over there. This is an Imperial India Pale Ale, and it is a 8.5.
Ooh, just missed the 10 points.
Close.
Very close.
That smells really good. Okay. I like it.
All right.
Nice. All right. What do you got in the whack, Nick? As your
All right.
overall.
Yep. So over there in the WAC, things got kind of dicey this week. A little bit of drama, ultimatum from the WAC commissioner on their regular season champs, the Utah Valley Wolverines. The Wolverines took the regular season posting a 14-4 conference record, 24-7. Overall, they are riding a 6-game win streak. The WAC gave them an ultimatum: either pay up that $1 million exit fee, or you're not playing in the tournament. They currently have the number 1 seed, and they had to pay it by this morning. And it was confirmed that the check's in the mail, basically, from what I recollect from the statement. And that it will be posted in the Utah Valley Bank or whatever that is. But they avoided, for now, they're avoiding, any further drama. Going into, so they have the number 1 seed, Cal Baptist, the second place team in the WAC is number 2. So Utah Valley is waiting for whoever wins in that first round to meet them on Friday, the 13th, which will be their first game. As I said, they avoided that brief ultimatum that would have prohibited them from going to Vegas and participating in their conference tournament. This conference is basically, it's going to be a 1-bid league. So let's see if Utah Valley can do the same as the Bison over there in the Summit League. The WAC champs, they're built, whoever comes out of that, they're built to be maybe a 12 seed. They're older and physical, and they're not scared of anybody. That race down the stretch was pretty tight between Utah Valley, Cal Baptist, and Utah Tech. So if they land a 5 seed that can't handle physicality, they'll need to watch out if it's those top 3 teams. But yeah, I think I'm going to continue to root for Utah Valley, and just because, it was a $1 million exit fee, and obviously there was some ill will between the two. I think more or less the WAC was not very happy that they're ditching them to move up into a different conference. So I'll be rooting for them to become double champs and get into the tournament.
There we go. Do you think that if the Utah Valley Wolverines weren't a top seed in the tournament, do you think they would have paid to play the tournament, or you think they would have exited out?
I think all along that Utah Valley probably could have just paid the $1 million. But I think it was on principle that they're kind of just saying, okay, how far are you going to go, Whack? How far are you going to blemish your rep on account of because you have a resentment against us bouncing. So I think they probably would have done it either way. I don't know. I mean, if they were in the bottom, they probably just go, screw you, we're good.
Yeah.
I'm just laughing at the thought of the president of Utah Valley going, "Can I write a post-dated check?"
That tells you that
we're gonna win, and when we win this game, we'll get paid a little bit. It'll be there. It'll be there. Just let me post-date it.
that tells you the mental struggle between the two people. I mean, it's fun to watch and for an outsider, and it might be even fun for Utah Valley to be just stringing the conference along since they're the ones who kind of took offense to them bouncing. But that is funny. The check's in the mail. Believe me, it's in there.
Just wait till Friday.
All right. The Big Sky, 14 overall pick. Josh, what's going on over there?
This is an interesting one as well. We have a 4 and a 7 seed competing for the championship tonight.
Hold on a second. Nick, we have a pop comment for you. Money. Okay.
That's a pop-off moment right there.
Speaking of money, good segue. Montana's main best junior guard is named Money Williams. And he put up 32 points the other night to get Montana to the Big Sky Championship. Idaho was led by sophomore Colton Mitchell. He kind of carried the Vandals last night. He ended up with 26 points, 7 boards, 3 assists, led the team in all 3 categories. So we've got 2 lower seeded teams who are both hot at the right time. And Portland State, this is one of these conferences where it really doesn't matter how well you do in the regular season, which is a bummer for those 1 seeds going in. I do wonder, Portland State, they struggled against Idaho State the other night, and they just didn't look like the Portland State that had played all year. So we got the Vandals and the Grizz tonight at 9:30 p.m. for the Big Sky Championship. And even with the Bronco garb, I'm an Idaho guy, so let's go Vandals, I guess.
Sorry. Got a little something stuck in my throat.
What a rivalry.
It's coming back, kind of,
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
Is it really a rivalry if you get blown out all the time? However, Idaho is a better team than what they have been, both football and basketball.
1998, I became a massive Bronco fan because it used to be a rivalry, and we got our asses kicked every year. It felt like. Am I the old guy on the panel? That just blew my mind when Dom said he's turning 40.
How old are
No, I remember going to school and being made fun of because I was a Boise State fan by all the snobby Vandal fans.
Thank you, Nick.
I remember
Appreciate
that.
you.
We made fun of Sam for the same reason.
Yeah, pretty much. Boise who?
Boise,
Like,
what?
what is that?
Boise's not.
Boise's not a state. Uh-huh.
Yep.
So original. That one's so original. I
Uh-huh.
got that one all the time with the App State too.
App State, yeah. There you
So
go.
Yates will not be on the show next week.
Next, everybody.
Is that all it took?
Roll Tide. You know?
No. Yates has to stay. He keeps us out of legal trouble.
Oh,
So,
you're right.
True.
Steve, Dom, who's leaving?
All right. With the 15th overall pick, I took the Horizon League, and what a night it was in Indianapolis. The 2026 Horizon League Championship came down to the final buzzer. Top-seeded Wright State are headed back to March Madness. The Raiders defeated the 3-seed Detroit Mercy 66-63, but it was far from easy. The Titans held a 12-point lead with under 10 minutes remaining, threatening to pull off a massive upset, but Wright State, led by tournament MVP TJ Birch, clawed their way back with a late 15-4 run. The game ended in dramatic fashion when Freshman of the Year Kellen Pickett blocked Orlando Lovejoy's potential game-tying layup with just .5 seconds on the clock. This tournament was a showcase of resilient mid-major basketball. Wright State's path included a dominant 103-90 semifinal win over Northern Kentucky, proving they have the offensive firepower to hang with anyone. Orlando Lovejoy, despite the loss, was sensational, leaving all scorers of 26 in the championship game. Logan Woods provided the critical late game heroics, hitting back-to-back three-pointers in the final minutes to give the Raiders the lead for good. Now, what we can expect from Wright State in the dance? Most bracket experts have them firmly as a 14 seed, depending on how high the high major conference tournament shake out. They could even push a 13 seed, but I'm thinking that 14-15 is probably more their speed. This is an explosive offense team that doesn't quit. While they'll likely draw a powerhouse like Iowa State or Nebraska in the first round, the Horizon League champion has a history of being a giant killer. With Pickett's rim protection and Birch's scoring, don't be surprised if the Raiders keep their first round matchup within single digits late in the second half, and they have the grit, the grit to be a major bracket buster this year. So bet the house on Wright State, the dollhouse, the play one, not your real one, because you'll probably lose it. All right, Dominic, the 16 overall pick out of the Sun Belt. What do you got?
Yeah, I don't know anything about this one, guys. You're gonna have to help me out.
right.
No. Shout out to the yeah, that's true. I did pick Marshall, and they lost. They didn't even win a game. Shout out the Idaho Vandals, the former Sun Belt Conference members. Believe it or not. How that makes any sense? It never did. But they are back closer to where they belong, and everyone's better for it. Anyway,
they were groundbreaking geographical barrier breakers. Let's just put it this
true.
way.
They were some of the first.
Yeah.
Excuse me, them in New Mexico, for whatever reason. They were the West members of the Sun Belt, far Western members. Yes, so the Sun Belt had an interesting tournament. As we know, everyone makes this field as well, all 14 teams within the conference. It's a straight ladder bracket, Mortal Kombat style. You have to win 6 or 7 games if you want to go all the way from the lowest seed from this tournament all the way to the championship game. Georgia Southern, the 10th seed in the Sun Belt, won 5 games in 5 days, matching UConn, NC State, and a couple other teams that were a lot earlier than kind of modern day basketball is concerned, but they had an opportunity for history. They could have won their 6th game in 6 days. No one in NCAA basketball tournament history has ever done it before. However, they fell short. Troy will go on to the NCAA tournament to represent the Sun Belt for the 2nd straight year. Scott Cross getting it done. Expect him to be on the move. The person who hired him at Troy has now moved over to Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech has a vacancy at the head coaching position. So hopefully Troy can go on a run, do some damage, and Scott Cross can bow out gracefully with a nice tournament run before, if again, rumors are true, he may end up over at Georgia Tech. But he's got some guys with him. He's got Thomas Dowd, who's one of the best players in the Sun Belt Conference, rebounding machine. The best description I saw of how Troy plays basketball is that they play like a men's 40-year-old league, YMCA players. They're just falling all over the floor, diving for basketballs like they are gym class heroes, and it works. They're aggressive defensively. They're powerful offensively, and they don't even have Theo Sang right now, who's been one of their best power forwards throughout the season with a little bit of an injury. He's missed the last 6 games. So if he comes back, this Troy team gets even better, and I absolutely think this is a team you can look toward come upset time. I don't know how far of a run Troy could go on because it's really going to depend on where they end up in the bracket. Right now, very interesting. Troy, located in Troy, Alabama, for those that don't know, they are seeded 14th to go up against number 3 seed Alabama. That would be a hell of a matchup for a lot of reasons. So this, the Sun Belt tournament was fun. We had a fight on the women's side. We talked about that last week. Didn't have anything quite as exciting on that part for men, but Troy has secured their second year in a row going to the tournament, well deserved, and definitely the best team in the conference this year.
So,
right.
so let me hop in with this. You talked about Troy and Scott Cross possibly going to the Georgia Tech, and I think that's awesome because he was local here in DFW at UT Arlington before that. He is the winningest coach in UT Arlington history. He got fired after winning the conference couple of seasons and winning 225 games.
Mhm.
And since then, 2018, he went, after he's taken over Troy, he's now going to projected possibly back-to-back tournaments. And UT Arlington hasn't even been close to getting back to the same amount of success.
No.
That's
Again,
just
that's
wild. Like Scott Cross is so good.
He's very good. Yeah. A couple down years, and he hasn't had one at Troy. It doesn't feel like at this point. The guy's just he's a player's coach too. You can tell these guys love him. Thomas Dowd, their best player, they both speak very highly of each other. We were lucky enough to interview both before the season started. Tremendous guys. He's also a Waffle House guy. So the team celebrates victories by going to Waffle House. I think they get a shirt for every victory they secure on the year. Yeah. So it's creativity. It keeps these kids engaged. It keeps the season fun when it can get long and drawn out. They did drop some games that were a little bit surprising. I will say that and be honest with it, right? They came down to the final game in the Sun Belt for them to secure number 1 overall seed. But again, when it mattered, they still got it done. So I favor them going into the tournament this time.
Yeah. Interesting number regarding Scott Cross. Scott Cross, 116. That is how bad Boise State beat UT Arlington, 116-87, back in 2013. I was at that game. Great game. So,
and
go
then
Scott.
You got UT Arlington into some success.
Yeah, you were the direct responsible party for him getting fired. Thanks a lot. Way to go, Sam.
5 years after that.
All right. Casey, the 17 overall pick over in the Conference USA.
Well, it didn't go as well for the Flames as they'd probably hoped it would go. It does look like Sam Houston, who is the number 2 seed, is currently beating New Mexico State by 9 with 16 minutes left to play. So you will have a new tournament champion over the regular season champion, since Liberty Flames took that and dropped the ball immensely. So
they flamed out, huh? So
the good news is you picked Sam Houston for the tournament champ. So.
I did. See, I was going to say they flamed out as much as Sam's shirt color, but I was going to leave him alone.
That was right there, low hanging fruit.
Thanks, Pop.
Bingo.
Thank you.
That was good. That was good. Joke of the night goes to Casey.
Well, Yates, I'll be off next week. I'll take your spot.
Hey, I'm back in. Go back.
Oh no, we suck again. But it's looking like Sam Houston's got a pretty good shot other than maybe the Hilltoppers. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. That's kind of disappointing for Liberty. I don't think they're going to get in with that loss in the first round, but so much basketball to be played.
Yeah. In case anyone's wondering, this Stella Rosa, honey peach, brandy, 35% alcohol.
Whoa. Wow.
It does
that's
not
more than 10.
It does not mix well with the Jabberwocky. Just so you know.
I bet you won't chug a cup of that.
Let's not
Jabberwocky or the Stella?
Oh, the 35%er.
Oh yeah.
Let's
you're
not.
Right. Don't encourage me. I'll do it.
No, you won't. You're not man enough. Look at your shirt.
I succumb to peer pressure. Um,
Come on, guys, got to help me out here.
Double dog dare ya.
if I didn't have to get up early for work. Anyway,
Yates is going to
Yates.
have to start his disclaimer now.
What are we doing to me? I can't make this many disclaimers.
All right, Yates, 18 overall pick. You took the Big West. What's going on over there?
The Rainbow Warriors just letting everybody down, because I said good things about them again, and I picked them. So it came down to the last day of the regular season for them to just lose. Then UC Irvine wins their game, and UC Irvine, the old anteaters, take your regular season title. But they have a cool little tournament, with the double bye. They got 8 teams in, and then 3-4 get the first bye, and 1-2 get a double bye. So that's a pretty cool little setup they got. They have started those games up tonight. Right now, we got Cal Poly and UC San Diego, the old Tritons, going at it. But honestly, with this thing, it's more of like a top-heavy thing. We can pretty much expect like UC Irvine against Hawaii, because they were kind of back and forth in the regular season as well, going 1-1 against each other. So that'd be kind of a little slugfest going right there. But if there is somebody that's going to bust a bracket, I said them a little bit earlier, kind of little, foreshadowing, but UC San Diego, the Tritons, I think can be a bracket busting dark horse out of that. But they're one of the 12-8 teams, which are 3 of them tied at 12-8 in that conference. They have beaten both UC Irvine and Hawaii. So they would have a chance to maybe make a little noise there. So we'll see what happens. But it looks to be a pretty fun little tournament. But you're going to get a 14 seed, maybe a 15 seed out of this conference.
All right. Well, run it back with the Ivy League then.
Well, the Ivy League, so there's not much to talk about in this one. This is going to come down to basically 2 teams. You got Yale, you got Harvard. Yale's your favorite. Harvard was one game away from winning the conference with their 10-4 conference record. Yale right now projected as a 12 seed against my beloved Hogs as a 5 seed. I hate it. I don't think Yale would beat us. I think we'd run them out of the gym. But the off chance that they catch fire from 3 would happen because I cheer for the Hogs. And that is the reason. That is the reason we are going, let's go Harvard. But I think Yale's actually going to win this conference tournament. They're going to double up. They're going to get in, and they were a pretty heavy favorite last year with a lot of brackets, and they let everybody down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody. So, don't pick them in the tournament, but they're going to win their conference. But don't pick them.
So
Maybe you
everyone-
reverse curse them, Yates. They're going to do great now.
Yeah, now they're going to go win the dang thing and
A reverse curse? Yeah.
first title for the Ivy League or something.
Sounds about right. All right. And Casey, number 20, the Patriot.
Well, that didn't go how I thought it was going to go. I figured that Shipton had a great season, and they'd run away with it, but they lost that one. I mean, Boston managed to do successfully what Iran has yet to do, and that is beat our Navy. So
I mean, just took
So,
home the
yeah.
number 2 joke too.
so I mean, it's looking like, based on the way the conference played out the rest of the regular season, anybody's got it. I mean, Lehigh was 11-7, Colgate was 11-7, Boston was 10-8. So it came down to Lehigh. They won it. We'll see how they do. I think ESPN currently has them slotted in And I literally had it here, and it went away. I think they had them at a 14. Of course, I'll be missing it. McNeese is like nice shiny colors. It's like the only
Hey.
green dot on my screen.
Speaking of shiny,
Uh-oh.
while you're finding your stuff, anyone here familiar with Firefly? The TV series
The-
Firefly.
Oh,
No?
yeah.
Oh yeah. They're bringing it back, ain't they?
Yeah. If anyone has seen Nathan Fillion's Facebook or TikTok page going around to all the old cast members, there's like 5 days left till an announcement, and if they are announcing they're bringing it back, it's gonna be like basketball. Let's talk about that for a while.
Was it one season? Did it go 1 year and then
I think,
got canned?
no, it
Was
was
it 2?
3 seasons.
Was it
2 or
that
3.
long?
Yeah,
If it's the show I'm thinking of,
yeah.
Yeah, and then they did a movie.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh.
Like it never got as big as what it got after it was canceled.
That means if it comes back, it's gonna suck though. That's what always happens.
oh yeah, 100%.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like,
Awful.
Oh, there it is. That's where I missed Lehigh. They're in the play-in game against Southern, currently slated against Florida.
So apparently there was only one season with 14 or 15 episodes.
Yeah, and then they made the movie, which movie was actually pretty good.
It was 15 episodes were produced, but only 14 were aired during the original run. The 15th was aired after, and then you had the 2005 Serenity film.
Yep.
Serenity
Wow.
now.
Sorry.
So what you're saying is I don't know college basketball, but I know Firefly. Got it,
Yeah,
Sam.
pretty much. I mean, I love how we all just started talking Firefly and like, what's basketball? Basketball's every year. Firefly only comes down once every 20.
Yeah, one season. 20 years from now, we'll have a third.
Be everyone on their deathbed giving confessionals.
By the way, Lenardi has updated, and he has Texas as his last 4 bye, and Auburn is in. So
Auburn's
11
in?
SECs.
How does Texas losing that early get a last to a team with a losing record?
Yeah,
Get a
and they're
last
just
4.
bad.
Yeah. It looks like they dropped a spot according to his like a seed spot.
Maybe we should get Lenardi into some brain scans, see what's going on up there.
I mean, they did put
He's
North
losing it.
Carolina in last year, so
That had nothing to do with the fact that the commissioner was the chairman of the committee. I'm sure. He left the room when they talked about UNC.
sure.
I did say the same thing, but did UNC not go on to win at least 1 or 2 games after that though?
Yeah.
I think they won one.
He may have left
Won
the
one.
room, but there were Rolexes on the table after he left. Casey, were you done
Hey.
with the Patriot?
Yeah, I mean Lehigh won it.
Okay.
So they'll get this conference bid.
Sweet. All right, Dominic. You picked yet another loser in the SoCon. Why don't you tell us about it?
I love the losers. Well, look, this was who was it? Nick, who was talking about how the bottom seeds had the better record coming in than the top seeds. Which one was that? Was that Nick with the conference earlier?
Yeah, no, that was Josh, wasn't it?
Yeah,
With Mountain West?
Mountain West. The
Yeah.
top 5 seeds had terrible. Yeah.
Gotcha. It wasn't quite that strongly in the SoCon, but Samford was one of the better teams, having beat a lot of the top seeds towards the end of the season. They were the hotter team in the conference. They bowed out as the number 3 seed versus the number 6 seed Furman. That was only a 5-point game. I was right on that. Furman ultimately ended up taking down 2 of the top 3 seeds on their way to winning the conference tournament for the first time since 2023. The last time that they won the conference tournament and made the big dance, they went on to upset Virginia 68-67 in the very first round. So yeah, pretty big upset. It marked the school's first tournament victory since 1974 when they did that. So I hate the Furman Paladins used to go against App State. They never called themselves the Dins, D-I-N-S, Dins. They were not known as that. Somehow, some way right now, that is what they're calling themselves as like their nickname. So instead of Paladins, they're just the Dins. They're also using Roll Dins. It's awful.
I
It
don't like
sounds terrible. I can't get on board with that. They also use it for App State and say Roll Nears instead of Mountaineers. I hate both of them. But
Yeah, that's stupid.
Furman, I mean, yeah, if you don't follow a guy online on Twitter or Instagram named Ryan Hammer, this guy does phenomenal basketball coverage. I know Josh knows who this guy is, but Ryan Hammer's looked at some of the teams that have made the tournament already, right? Furman being one of those, Troy being another one that he talks about. But some mid-major teams that can really make some noise in the tournament. And he believes Furman's also one of those teams. They've got a guy named Cooper Bowser who's come back with his brother on the team as well. And he's come back from injury, averaging 14.5 points, over 5.5 rebounds per game. And Furman, I believe Ryan Hammer's comment was they are the fifth tallest team in NCAA. So that is a little bit of a factor that some people may not notice or realize. Again, that's why you follow a guy like Ryan Hammer who does his homework really well too online. But yeah, Furman has made the tournament from the SoCon and could do some damage because of their size and returning quality players to their lineup.
And shout out Ryan Hammer. He's actually low-key hilarious. He is witty with his stuff, and he's just little one-liners that are brilliant. So definitely go follow him. He's funny.
Yeah.
Right.
He will also interact with you. Obviously, he's not going to answer like every comment, but if you've got something like a question or something thoughtful that you can interject into his stuff, he will talk back to you. So that's what's cool, because a lot of content creators get so big they just don't talk to people and don't comment back. But he's one who actually will comment, like your stuff, probably follow you back if it's something that's thought-provoking that you can provide him. So pretty cool guy to follow.
He did remind everybody earlier today about Lehigh and their nice little victory against Duke several years back. So
yep,
put that out there.
There you go.
All right. I strategically made my conference picks based on who finishes their tournament first, so I don't have to preview any upcoming games. I can just give recap. That didn't change with the MAC, my 22 overall pick. Not to be confused with the less superior single A MAC. I have more A's because I'm better, Casey. That's how that works.
I thought that's just because you have to go to AA.
I do not. The Siena Saints are headed back to March Madness for the first time in 16 years. In a defensive masterclass, the Saints took down the top-seeded Merrimack Warriors 64-54. It was a historic night for a second-year head coach Gary McNamara, who led Siena to its 7th MAC title in program history. The Saints used an unrelenting defense to hold Merrimack scoreless for the first 9 minutes of the second half, turning a 3-point halftime lead into a 15-point cushion that the Warriors could never fully erase. Star of the tournament was undoubtedly sophomore guard Gavin Doty, who was named tournament MVP. Doty exploded for 23 points in the finals, with 18 of those coming in the second half. But he didn't do it alone. The Saints' front court was massive. Riley Mulvey dominated the paint with 11 points and 11 rebounds with 5 blocks, and Brendan Coyle added another double-double with 11 points and 10 boards. Despite Ernest Shelton's 17 points for Merrimack, the Warriors simply couldn't find their rhythm against the Siena defense that entered the game ranked 20th nationally in scoring defense. As is typical for the conference, Siena is projected to land as a 16 seed. They could get in the playing game, but 16 is probably where they're going to end up at. While the MAC hasn't seen a deep run since St. Peter's magical 2022 Elite Eight appearance, this Siena team. Try that again. This Siena team is built on the kind of stifling defense that can frustrate high major opponents. Oh. Whew. Am I hearing back?
Yeah, somebody's got some background noise, something going on.
It's not me.
Sounds like a radio.
I was gonna say let's blame Josh. He was just a spinning circle, so let's count the noise to him too.
that was weird. Someone's trying to hijack our show. Anyway,
went away when Nick muted.
let's get
It
back
was
to
Nick.
it.
It was
All that
Nick.
Iran talk earlier, Sam.
I ran the court. If the Saints land in the first four in Dayton, their momentum and experience in tight games makes them a strong favorite to advance to the field of 64. However, a potential first-round matchup against the number 1 seed will be a monumental task. The key for Siena will be keeping the game in the 50s or 60s. If they muck it up and let Gavin Doty cook in the closing minutes, don't be shocked if they make their opponent sweat until the very end. I don't think they're going to take down a number 1, but they can get me a win if they get one of them play-in games. All right. Let's move on to the Ohio Valley. Josh?
The Ohio Valley. This one is over as well. We had Tennessee State taking the ship there, so they will move on. Not much to say. They took out Morehead State in the final. Really was the 1 and 2 seed. They kind of were it this year. And Tennessee State, it's going to be throw up some prayers, hope they get hot at the right time as a 14, 15 seed kind of thing. I think they were slated as a 15 according to Lenardi. They're sitting near 170 in Ken Palm, so their offense and defensive efficiencies are not good, but good enough to win the Ohio Valley, and they're the team that everybody counts out and some little 15 seed pops up and does it. So I guess watch out for Tennessee State. I don't know.
Hey, do you want to know a little random fact? The number 1 song the last time Tennessee State made NCAA tournament was "The Sign" by Ace of Base.
Wow.
That's how long it's been.
Great song.
You got a year on that,
Yeah.
Dom?
95.
1994.
94. Close.
Well, yeah, close.
Excellent. The Sign. What's the number 1 song this year? Because does that have any correlation?
You won't
Ooh,
know
I
the
don't know.
artist or the song.
No, I'm
That's
not
true.
gonna know that.
I think it's
Yeah.
some AI generated,
No, it's probably some
Probably.
90s band. They seem to be coming back. So
right? All right. Colorado State's roared back and are now have a 57-51 lead over Fresno with 7 minutes to play. All right, Nick, let's go to the NEC where Long Island really didn't have to play their championship game.
Yeah, let's talk about the Northeastern Conference. As you said, they met Mercyhurst in the championship, and as like Queens from a year ago, Mercyhurst is in that transition to Division I, so they're not eligible. But kudos to the Long Island Sharks. They went into the championship. They played with pride. They didn't need to win it. They had the bid already locked in, but they did take over Mercyhurst. They won 79-70 in the NEC championship, and so that shored up again a double championship year for the Sharks. They will likely be in the 15-16 line in the NCAA tournament. They've often been in the Dayton, the first 4. So kind of look for that. They've had really good success. Out of many of the teams that can be Cinderellas, I would rank the Sharks up there because they've had a lot of success in the tournament. They're going to show up in Dayton, and they always, they're going to play like they've been disrespected. I can really feel for them, being a Bronco fan. Seems like we end up in Dayton and, we're sitting at 0-10 lifetime in the tournament. So I get it. And they've been in that, they've been in that position many times and for a decade. So they can absolutely win a first 4 game and give a 1 seed a scare for 25 minutes. But maybe this will be the year that they do it as well and get in and get locked into a number 1 seed and shock the world, because so they're going to be one of my teams to keep an eye on for your brackets, even more so than the North Dakota State Bison. My other team that I have a really good feeling about is Northern Iowa from Jonathan's Missouri Valley Conference. I really love what they did in their championship and shooting 62% from the field as a 4 seed in their own conference. So they've got some major mojo going. So those probably are my 2 teams. If you're filling out your brackets, if you got a good gut feeling and you like what you hear here, do some research. I think that those 2 would probably, you got a good shot at getting a point in your bracket early on.
All right. Now moving on to our supplemental picks. These picks here were the final 3 conferences not chosen. The bottom 3 that did not get great conferences to choose from due to the draft order. They got to get these supplemental picks in. First up was Dom with the AEC, the number 25 pick overall. What you got, Dom?
All right, this is another conference where everybody makes it, but there are only 8 teams compared to those bigger conferences with 14 each in them. The one thing that I kept harking on is I didn't think anybody would touch the top 2 teams, so we're going to just ignore everybody else because the top 2 teams have made it to the championship game, which will be played Saturday, March 14th at 11 a.m. Kind of a crazy start time for a basketball game. But Vermont, number 2 versus number 1 UMBC. Sam, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think I stuck with UMBC to win this, or did I take Vermont? I can't remember now.
Nope, you went UMBC.
I want to say I took UMBC. Yeah,
you did.
Okay. Well, hopefully they can win it. But as expected, those 2 teams made it here. Both of them kind of rather easily because they had buys into that semifinal matchup before they had to play. Oh, no, they didn't. I'm sorry. Everybody played every single round in this one until they were eliminated. But they haven't had really any close games just yet. So this is a great matchup to be the champion. The person who comes out of this is going to be well deserving. Let me see. UMBC took the title because they had a 14-2 record compared to Vermont's 12-4 record. So again, that's probably why I leaned on UMBC. I would expect them to come out of the American East.
All right. Casey, the MEAC.
All righty. We got the Howard Bison, who won the regular season and with 21-10 overall record. And the Morgan State Bears, who were 1 game behind them, just lost to the last place Delaware State Hornets, who were 8-22 and 2-12 in conference. So as of now, Howard is awaiting the winner of the 4 and 5 seeds, and then I guess whoever wins between the Red Hawks and ESPN does not help out. The Red Hawks and the Central Eagles of North Carolina will end up playing Delaware State, and then whoever wins that will end up meeting most likely Howard. So I'm still picking Howard to win the MEAC.
Wow. Nice. Morgan State only scored 15 points in the first half.
They played terribly.
Getting it done.
Talk about not showing up for the last place opponent.
Yates, were you rooting for them?
I probably accidentally might have when I was asleep, and my fault.
He was really big on Bethune-Cookman to win the regular season and the conference tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
that go.
Big fan, right? I think Bethune-Cookman really has a great road to do it. And then somehow this brick wall of Prairie View A&M just and stop that momentum. Anyway, and so at this point now, Joe Lenardi thinks that Southern has the best chance to come out of that conference, which I'm going to be honest, I think he needs to go get his mental capacities checked. We've talked about that already. Okay. Because he's forgetting the Rattlers of Florida A&M, who have beaten Southern twice already this season. Okay. And they had the same conference record. And if Florida A&M can actually run the table here, then maybe this conference can get somebody with a winning record in the tournament. Because if not, you're going to be sending somebody with a losing record to go play a number 1 seed possibly and get the crap kicked out of them. So,
Yeah, Florida A&M just went final with Jackson State, 70-60.
They took care of business there, and then you got another couple of matchups tomorrow, and then you got the semis Friday. The championship game will be Saturday. I don't know if there's a time on that yet. I haven't seen it if it is.
We'll take.
I would assume like 11 a.m.
Yeah.
To hide it.
Yeah.
So that's going to about wrap it up for us tonight. We're going to go ahead and get some brand shout outs. Nick, our designated driver, bringing back the old slice. What you got, buddy?
Yeah, just shout out to my Albertsons for bringing back the slice and coming up with that deal with the rebranded slice and bringing it in. That's pretty good. Like I said, I haven't had a carbonated soft drink for several years. It went down pretty smooth. It tasted great, low in sugar. That's another thing I look for on a low carb lifestyle. So, and then it's supposed to be good for good gut health and good fibers. So, welcome back, Slice.
Welcome back, Slice. All right, Yates, what do you have?
All right, so I started this evening off with a little Three Nations Royal Blood. Got finished with that one. It was great. And so I popped open this Big Wheel, which is their brown and / amber type of ale. It's a seasonal thing out there at Three Nations. That one goes down smooth as well. What's up, Three Nations? Sponsor me again.
All right, and Casey.
Just see if I can get this to do this. We're drinking some Jack Daniels with some vanilla. We moved on. They're not bad. They're 7%, but they can be a little bit more carbonated. Like they taste pretty flat. Like it's been sitting there for a minute.
What if you mixed it with some actual like Coke or cherry Coke or something? You think it would spice it up more?
Yeah, it'd probably be better. I mean, you'd lower your alcohol content.
True.
But it's not bad. I mean, it was something I saw when I was at the wine and spirit stores in Pennsylvania. Is special, and it's a state-owned store, so your selections aren't as good.
Yeah, you got to go into a separate part of a Sheetz to get your alcohol in Pennsylvania.
Oh my God, the prices at like Rutter's and Sheetz and stuff for buying beer it's probably marked up like 35% compared to like a beer distributor. It's bad. But we don't have any of the Buc-ee's or anything cool like down south.
Yeah. Well, you also have to go into if you want a 6-pack, you have to go into a bar, right? Still how that has to work? Unless you go to a Sheetz or Rutgers.
Yeah. Yeah, you would have to go or like some pizza shops have them, but yeah.
That is horrible.
Oh yeah, it's bad. Like you go down like in Maryland, like you can go to 7-Eleven and buy like alcohol. Pennsylvania, no. If you want beer, you gotta go to like a beer distributor. If you want liquor, you gotta go to like the state-owned liquor store.
Yeah,
it's
so
very regulated.
Living in Pennsylvania for a couple of years after high school, once I became legal age to drink, you can't also carry more than 2 6-packs from the store to your car. So if you want to buy 4 6-packs because the beer distributor is closed, you have to make 2 trips. Even if you have a person with you, like they would have to buy it separately from you. The rules are so stupid.
All right. Pennsylvania off the list. Moving on.
All right, Josh.
Pennsylvania.
Your Montana beer. You're
Yeah,
going for Idaho, but you're drinking a Montana beer. What's that all
Never
about?
mind Montana. We got Halo the dog. He is a registered trademark of Carroll College. And so the Saints of Carroll putting out their own beer, probably raising some money for them. Pretty tasty little thing here. Huckleberry Hef out of the Lewis and Clark Brewing Company in Montana.
Nice.
All right. And the opening round of the Mountain West Conference, Colorado State, Fresno State getting tighter, 64-61 with a minute to play. Looking to be a good game, and it looks like Sam Houston's going to pull away from New Mexico late. So good on you, Casey, for picking them to win it all. Maybe they might pull it off, unless Yates starts rooting for them. Dominic, what do you got?
I'll save it.
Well, we started off the night with a little Cook's Mill American Straight Bourbon Whiskey from Catawba County, North Carolina. Foothills of North Carolina, where I grew up most of my life. We had a little shout out to Old Dominic Distillery in Memphis, Tennessee, with the glass and the koozie that was used for the beer, which actually came from Crank Arm Brewing Company, located in Raleigh, North Carolina, just down the road from me here. And we had Jimmy's Bike Drive Coastal Lager. It was definitely a coastal lager. I'd say the only downside was I grabbed it before the show started, not quite as cold as it probably would have been. Very salty, but in like a good way, of one of those like Mexican style beers with the salt content kind of thing. 4.5%, but pretty good. I think if it was a little bit colder and you're down at the beach, definitely a great beach beer.
Nice.
All right. It does look like Colorado State's going to pull this one off with 25 seconds left. So, Yates, your curse might be coming to an end. Or who was it that was talking Colorado State?
It wasn't me.
It's Josh. Josh was talking them up. So Josh needs to talk things up if we want him to win, right?
I need
That where we're going?
Yates, if you don't mind throwing a shout out to San Jose State right now, would appreciate it.
Yeah, go Spartans. You know, I think San Jose State right now, they're probably some of the best basketball in the country. Couldn't make a case for a number 1 seed. So, let's see how they play.
They're the best 8-23 team in the nation, man.
They might be. They might be. It's an underrated record, really. You had to see the games.
Their average
attendance
of
of
742, blocking that gym.
742 attendees every game.
It's a sellout if you think about it, right?
Any crowd's a sellout crowd if you're in a small enough gym.
Yeah, if you think about it, right? It's more than they had last time. Sellout.
This will be the pick that Yates nails.
All right. From Southern Star Brewing Company out of Conroe, Texas. Beer for people who like beer. This is the Bombshell Blonde, American Blonde IPA. Had a very lemony flavor to it. Great artwork on the can. This little thing right here, it's kind of cool because it says beer for people who like beer, but it's one beer and it starts and stops on beer. It's kind of cool. I don't know. I just noticed things like that. Anyway, now it's okay to drink alone. This is the Jabberwocky Imperial India Pale Ale. This was 8.5%. Pretty good. Cool can work. There you go. That's brewed and canned in Magnolia, Texas. And then we tried Stella Rosa's Honey Peach. Honey Peach Brandy. It's pretty good. 35% alcohol. No, we're not chugging that one tonight. Quick score update. I have taken the lead with 6 points following a perfect regular season and a 50% conference championship season. Dominic and Casey are tied for second now with 5 points. Dominic, after his perfect 5-0 regular season, is still looking for his first win in the tournament. And Casey has only lost one game in both regular and tournament season. He's got 3 more to go. Then Yates, Josh, and Nick are all 3 points, with Nick going 50, 500, going 500 in regular season. Josh went 500 in regular season, and Yates went 3 for 5. Hasn't won a conference game yet.
Oh, my
Josh
tail's
is
collapsing.
Josh is 1-1, and Nick is 1-1. So
So a winning season for me and Nick is what you're saying. Got it. Enough said.
That's what it's looking like.
Listen.
But yeah, so there we are. I'm in the lead with 6. Dom and Casey right on my heels at 5, and Josh, Nick, and Jonathan at 3. But it's not over yet. It's still anybody's game, especially if you get some upsets. Remember, seeds 13 through 16, if you pull an upset in the tournament, you get double the points. And the points increase the farther into the tournament you go. So those that are shooting for play-in games, where you think you got a chance to bring home a play-in game win, that's another point that neither of the other guys get. So that's where the supplemental. There we go. More drinks. That's where the supplemental picks come in to kind of even out the top picks being able to pick multi-bid conferences. So, anybody else? Nick, there we go. You want to shout out our show tomorrow?
Yeah, we're back at it every Thursday at 7:00 Mountain Time. Just covering all of Boise State sports. We'll be hitting what happened with the women in their conference tournament. We'll be covering what happened tonight in the Boise State San Jose State game, and it's always fun to get together on Thursday, and just love covering Boise State sports.
Yep. And Dominic, what do you got going on the Sunbelt Syndicate this week?
Yeah, we just wrapped up a show. We typically go live Mondays for baseball coverage, but because of the Sunbelt Championship game being on Monday for basketball, where Troy won, we went live on Tuesday this week. So that one's up and running now. We probably won't go live. We may do a tournament preview. We'll be discussing that in the background, but we will be going live for sure Monday for baseball again as well.
All right. And what is Yates doing now that basketball's over?
It's hunting season. We're seeing what jobs are popping open. So that's about it.
I hear rumbling UTSA or UTA might be calling.
Yeah, sure. There's a freshman coach out here at Plano West that we're going to make this college job for, and he's had 0 college level experience. Let's give him a try.
I mean,
can't be much worse.
If you go in and offer to take very little money for an experiment for 2 years,
yeah, right.
You have 2 years.
I'm getting nobody right now. Nobody knows who I am. All right, so give me a chance.
You get 2 years of basically free till you find your dream coach.
Yeah, you can pump it all into NIL. Just I won't take much. Just give it all to NIL, and then all I do is build my name and resume, and we're good.
Yeah,
bingo.
I've tried that with many teams, including the Cleveland Browns, when they couldn't find a coach. I got nothing.
Haters. Anyway, let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah. Casey, Josh, you guys have anything going on you want to shout out this week?
Not this week.
I got a shout out. This is more for my wife. She has a friend who her husband is the associate head coach at Air Force. Adam Wardenberg is his name. And just listen, they're rivals, no doubt, but I just love when service academies do well. I love to see the people that are going to go keep us safe have success in their college years. So go Air Force, rooting for them. And Adam Mordenberg, nice job.
Nice.
All right. Good deal. Casey, did you have anything? I didn't hear.
I'm just trying to get through the weekend, man. This weather up here, we just had like 80s the last 2 days, and then it's supposed to snow tomorrow afternoon. I'm over this this Pennsylvania weather.
You live in Texas?
Yeah, yeah, with worse alcohol laws.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for the night. Remember, go ahead and come back same time next week. We'll do this all over again. It's going to be a fairly shorter show because we're going to be covering the 2 playing games that go on the day before, and then we're going to just preview the Field of 64. And then after that, the shows get shorter and shorter because the teams get less and less. So we're rounding the end of basketball season. So jump on the shows, give us your hot takes, tell us what you're drinking, and we'll see you same time, same place next week. And we got Bulls fan 2K7. Good show, guys. Thank you, sir or ma'am. Sorry. Thanks for watching. And again, same time, next place, 7:30 Central Time, right here. Bronco Nation Updates YouTube and the Sunbelt Syndicate's socials that Dominic shares out to as well. So until next week, you guys stay safe.